Also, this is me explaining my code. I'll put comments in it before I submit. But what I did was the first method, I kept the console stuff from the example because I like the way it printed out. I called the speed and direction. I called the speed first, although I mean, you could call the direction first, but the way mine was going, um, it wasn't in sync. So it would, when I called the direction first, it would say the direction, and then it would say the speed like too late. So this way I found was much better. And my direction, I have it set so that you can ask for a motor and a direction, which is why I put the left reverse in there, just so that you can see when you only call one motor. Initiated only the motor pins, so pin 1 and pin 2 are both sides. And then I used if-else statements with nested if-else statements. You can ignore this. I was trying something out, but that's not part of it. So if the motor is left, then we check to see if it's going forward. If it's not going forward, I just have else instead of setting backwards. So if the user doesn't enter forward, it's automatically going to go backwards. If the user enters anything other than forward, it's going to go backwards. I have else if for the right wheel, and then it's the same. So if the user enters forward as the second word, it's going to go forward. If the user enters anything else, it's going to rotate backwards. And then I have another else, which is pretty much controlling the both wheel function. So if the user enters anything other than left or right, or if, well, I didn't ask for user input, but if when you call the method, if you enter anything other than left or right, it'll automatically assume both and do this. I was playing with my thread sleep option, but I found that it was best outside because I had it set inside of each if else statement, which was unnecessary. So I found that it was best outside of the whole loop. So after it goes through the whole thing, whatever it chooses, it stays at 5 seconds instead of putting in each one for it to stay at 5 seconds, whichever one it chooses. Then I have, these are to set all my pins to low, which is pretty much the shutdown option. I mean, I could use GPIO shutdown, but I found that it wasn't shutting all of them down. So I like to set them all to low before I unprovision the pins. And the reason for unprovision the pins is so that I can call the method again. When I try to call the method without unprovisioning the pins, the second time I get an error about the pin already being in use. This is my second method, which is the set speed method. Initially, I had one speed in there, but I decided to put two in there so that you can show when, like, if I just call one wheel, so I can put the speed to 0 for the other. And then I have in the printout statement to enable the PWM to get the PWM of both so that you can print it out so you can see both of them. And then I shut down and I'm provisioning the enable pins. And that is my code.